Uh, could you just talk about what makes Gabe Gross effective as a head coach and what he's meant to you guys in your time here?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the biggest reasons why I committed here. Left-handed hitter, and Gabe is too, and he played in the big leagues. And I don't know if mechanics is the right word that Gabe teaches. I think it's overall approach and learning the game and figuring out your spots to take chances and not. And coming into college, I thought it was all about just hitting a fastball and reacting to a breaking ball. And Gabe's shown me that there's levels to that. Your first couple of years, can you start backspinning balls into the gap, and then those backspin doubles turn into home runs, and it's little stuff like that. And I think it's more approach oriented than it is, hey, we're going to change X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I think just the experience that he brings to the table. Obviously, like a 10-year big leaguer is a great thing to have in a coaching staff. And I think that, like Ike says, the mentality that he brings to the game and brings to the field every day rubs off on us. And he does a great job of teaching, not, like Ike said, not only the mechanics, but the mental side of hitting as well.
Jonathan from the back.
This one's also for both guys. I know Coastal's not an SEC team, the Sun Belt's a really good conference in its own right. 21 straight wins is 21 straight wins. Can you just talk about what you've seen from them, rather in your study or film work, and what kind of you're up against this weekend?
Yeah, anytime you win 50 games in a year, it's a big deal. I think they're the only team in the country to have 50 wins. So it's a really scrappy group. And looking forward to a great weekend and competing against them. I think they have a really good pitching staff, and our guys are hopefully up to the challenge, and we're all really excited to get going.
Yeah, I think offensively, it's more of they want to basically score one run an inning. They want to get a guy on, get him over, and get him in. Type of offense, and if you make a mistake in that, and if they sack bunt, that's when and you misplay it. That's when their innings turn into big innings. Pitching wise, it's power stuff. It's power from the first two guys, and the third one's a sinker baller, so not as power. But on the back end, they got a power lefty and a power righty to close it out. And I think as an offense, we just got to try and win the middle innings.
Jonathan in the back.
Hey, this is for both you guys. Starting with Ike, this program has had a lot of success recently, but never clinched a trip to Omaha at home. So the opportunity to play this super regional here at Auburn and potentially win, what does that mean to you guys?
Yeah, it's huge. We watched when they clinched it in Corvallis 2 years ago, and we're just really excited that we get to be at home in our own beds and be in a park that we're familiar at. And I think it brings comfort. It also brings excitement because we know we'll have a great fan base behind us.
Yeah, I think this university deserves it. This fan base deserves it. This ballpark deserves it, and overall the program deserves it, I think. And that's just our little piece of history, I guess. But yeah, with the renovated stadium and everything, everyone doing a great job around Auburn for the last 3 years has been a huge part of it, and we're excited.
Jason.
I'm going to keep the both of you questions going. What does it mean to have Dutton on the mound in game one of a situation like this?
Confidence. We know we know who Sam Dutton is, and we know how he's gonna pitch, and we're confident playing behind him. And yeah.
Yeah, I think I would probably just repeat that. It's a steady presence on the mound from pitch one. You know what you're going to get, and he's able to calm the game down whenever he needs to, and bring up the energy when he needs to. I think he does a great job of that. He's just a veteran guy that we'd love to start the series with.
Bill.
Again, for both of you guys, Butch was talking about how Fluky, their starter tomorrow night, has more movement than you guys have seen. How do you prepare for something like that? I mean, trying not to overdo it.
Yeah, I think we'll know in the first three batters whether it's really going to ride or not. We got 2 out of our first 3 hitters. Me and Chris, we really have flat swings through the zone, and with a ride guy, you got to get to the top of the ball. And so another big thing is you can't hit if you're late against a ride guy. And so we'll see pretty quickly if we got to make an adjustment in the lineup swing over the ball, because it's normally with ride guys, if you have a flat swing, you really don't have to change much. But if it misses up, or if you're swinging under it, you got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, it's a great pitching staff. You know, we're diving into it a little bit, and you know, I think it's going to be a great series. And you know, yeah, you know, you got the guys that are with the ride and all that stuff, but it's the same game. Comes down to the same game, and keeping the main thing, like Coach Thompson likes to say. So yeah, that's just a big thing for us is, you know, staying with us and focusing on us, and you know, just trying to win games.
For kind of a less serious question, but your walk-up songs kind of become, you know, it's a big part of the atmosphere. How did that tradition kind of come to be? What made you choose that?
Yeah, I think it was a bunch of the pitchers just in the dugout hanging out, and I only went to it because I was in a slump, and you know, I got out of a slump last year when I started using that as my walk-up song, and so I think it was Ben Shore and Christian Chatterton that started it, and it's just gone from there.
Ike, you got to show off your catcher's arm out in the outfield, so could you compare and contrast throwing out somebody caught stealing versus gunning somebody down at the plate?
Yeah, way cooler doing it at the plate. Throwing somebody out from the plate, you're saving a run. And it's just a lot more fun. I think it gets the crowd a little more energized too.
Back left with Julie.
Hey, Ike, this one's for you. I just wanted to ask, you got a guy over there, a Michigan guy, a Motor City Hit Dogs guy on that pitching staff there. I'm just wondering, have you guys talked at all about this matchup, and what have you seen out of the season he's had?
No, it's great to see other Michigan people do well. You know, he's a character, that's for sure. But no, Jake's a good kid. He's from Fenton, Michigan, and you know, we never got to play him in high school, but you know, we wish we did.
Any other questions? All good.
Thank you.